What is shaking? Welcome to the show. It's sponsored by Fieldwork, the official non-alcoholic beer of your San Jose Sharks. Joining us now, he'll join us a couple times every month throughout the course of the season. Good friend of mine and the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Douglas Kerr. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Thomas. How are you?
Good. Every time I look at that intro, I'm like, God, back when my body felt pretty good, I could bounce around and move around, not have to groan all the time. It's such a blissful time.
Oh, man, I miss those days. I'm telling you.
See, I have a theory, and my theory is when you were first started coaching here, your 12th, is this your 12th year now?
12th. Isn't that crazy?
God, that's unbelievable. So when you were coaching here, you didn't get up a lot. You got up a little bit early on. Then the team was so good, and you didn't have a ton to worry about. So it wasn't like you got up and paced the sidelines. You get up a little bit more now, and you stay up a little bit more now. But my theory is like once you get up, it's too much effort to sit back down and get back up. So you just stay up.
Yeah, and if I were to just sit, then it would be too much effort to get up because my back would be stiff at that point.
Yeah.
So there's no real good answer here, Tom.
Can you get the super high throne that Phil Jackson used to have?
Yeah, well, I think LeBron has it now. I think they just had it in the Lakers, in the storage room at Staples, because I see LeBron on that thing every game now.
We got one of those. I love that Phil looked like he was about 7'9", sitting on the bench, just
incredible.
Sitting there,
and
clipping his nails,
filing his nails.
I mean, just talk about disdain. While the other team's going on a 13-0 run, you're like looking at the bench. We calling a timeout? Yeah. Hold on, I got a cuticle here. Let me get this cuticle, and I'll get to you guys in a second.
That's right.
Oh man!
Probably, if you think about it, that's probably the height of NBA coaching arrogance. That move right there, probably going all the way back to Red Auerbach lighting up the stogie when the
nothing touches that.
Nothing can.
Nothing. You're smoking inside. And you just your own team's probably like, fuck, are you kidding me? We got to say,
can you imagine you're getting your butt kicked? You're the other coach at the other end, and it's like a 20-point game with 2 minutes left. And you look down, and Red just lights up and just starts puffing smoke in the air.
Got the legs crossed.
Yeah.
Not even watching the game anymore at that point. Just like we're done. You guys are
what a wonderful time in sports that you could do that. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Or we won't get into it again, but we've talked about the post game pressers and all that. It was a different era. No social media. It wasn't as big business, so you could do that sort of stuff. And I just think growing up, like the kids growing up nowadays are missing. If they're sports fans, they're missing so much fun that we used to have, like nightly, and watching stuff and highlights going, oh shit, he said that or he did that. Incredible.
Yes. Earl Weaver and Tommy Lasorda. And
Lou
some
Piniella.
Of the old school baseball manager, Sparky Anderson. They were just renowned for post-game press conferences. And it was definitely a different time. You got to be very careful about everything you say these days, as we both know, but it's a different era in sports for sure.
Yeah, no more seeing a manager in the corner of the dugout like Jim Leland doing the reverse. Like, who are you hiding it from? Like the smoke's coming out of your nose. What are you hiding the cigarette from us?
I may or may not have told you this story before, but when I was in with the Cavs in 1992, my fourth year in the league, we played the Celtics in the playoffs, and we're in Boston Garden, and I'm sitting on the bench where I was most of the time in those years, and all of a sudden I smell cigarette smoke, and I turn and I look, and Johnny Most, the Celtics radio announcer who had retired, he was had to be in his 90s at the time, and was in very poor health. He was in a wheelchair. right next to our bench. And I look down and I see him doing the Jim Leland, right? Like
Jim Leland.
Reverse. And we're playing in an NBA half, cigarette smoke. So there's a security guard there, and I go, "Excuse me, you think you could say something to him?" And he goes, "It's Johnny Most." Like, I guess we're gonna have to deal with the smoke. Incredible.
I would have never thought, listening to him, that he was a smoker.
No,
I would have never thought. A little lefty over to the big fella over to the lefty. It's like, oh God, that voice. It's so funny too. It when you tell that story, it reminds me, because it's like he was in poor health, probably, maybe not, but probably due to smoking. It may have had some factor. It reminds me of the people that they remember they showed the old commercials, people that tried to get off smoking, got addicted to smoking, and they had the hole in their throat, and they would smoke it through the hole in their throat. And the best part was the smoke coming out. They'd blow the smoke without. and then you'd hear him talking, be like, "Give me another stick, give me another stick, Camel unfiltered."
I'm gonna have to look those up on the
internet. They're so bad. I don't even know if I can watch those. Those did scare me though. They did what they were supposed to do. That was the scared straight of cigarette commercials. Like, oh my God. I mean, not only conveyed the message to you that if you smoked, you might end up with a hole in your throat, but the nicotine pull was so strong, you might just say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna smoke out of the hole in my throat." I'm doing it's so good. All right, let's get to some hoops. Good start to the season last night. I thought defense was good, not great. I thought, Luka did his thing. Other than Luka, I thought you guys bottled him up pretty good. To me, it kind of came down, you tell me if I'm wrong, a lot to you guys made threes, they didn't. You made free throws, they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one of those analytics dream games. It all came down to math. What's up, Lulu?
Yeah, there she is.
There she is.
She's like, "Hey, look at Steve's here."
Lulu's on the ground next to me. She may make an appearance at some point.
Yeah, your Lulu is not necessarily a lap Lulu.
No. She thinks she is sometimes, but
they all do.
Yeah, that's right.
They all do.
Yeah, it was a really good first game. I mean, once we got the turnovers under control after halftime, we were in great shape, and I think we had maybe 5 or 6 in the second half. One of which was the last play where we ran the shot clock out, and but that first half we gave up 6 or 7 transition opportunities with turnovers, charges. Once we figured that out, we were okay with Luka hitting twos. We just felt like if I think we even said if he gets 40, but we're not fouling him and he's shooting 17 footers, we feel pretty good about winning the game. And it's kind of how it played out. By the way, that guy, I mean, there's nothing you can do.
Nothing.
It's insane.
I mean, especially now that he's dropped the weight, he looks good, he's moving, he's a little bit quicker. He's just so big. Once he has you on his hip, it's over.
Yeah.
He's just done at that point.
He's so smart. He and Jimmy Butler both, they just understand the game, the way it's officiated, the angles. They understand body contact, to get a guy on your hip or you're driving and you create the angle to create the contact. And, there's always a couple when you play Luka. I'm sure the opponent, thinks the same way with Jimmy. There's 1 or 2 where you're kind of like, I don't know about that call. But then you watch the tape. These guys over and over again just know how to draw the foul, and they're legitimate fouls. So when you're that skilled and strong and talented, it's in today's game with all the spacing and the way the rules are, man, those guys are almost impossible to stop.
No, there's no doubt about it. And when I said you guys shot free throws well, I should have just said Jimmy shot free throws well. What did he go? Was he 16 for 16, 13, something like that? Yeah. And then Steph was 8 for 8.
Hold on, Tom. I lost you.
You know why?
Because Lulu hit the mute button.
You know why you lost me? Because Lulu hit the button. Thanks, Lulu. And there she goes. Just as my animal. That's what my animals do. They just create havoc and then take off and leave. No, I was saying Jimmy knows how to create those angles. And by his pump fakes, he's really good at pump faking, which is an underrated skill. Pump fakes and pass fakes, underrated skill in the NBA. But he knows how to use all that to his advantage. And he knows what you're going to do. So then he just puts himself in a position to hit your body when you come forward. And he's so strong, he has a chance to finish too. Like, he has really mastered that art.
Yeah, the footwork is incredible. You know, you hear coaches say, you know, he plays off 2 feet. It's probably more of a college thing. Most NBA guys are, you know, they like to play off 1 foot, jump in the air, make their decision. Yep. But playing off 2 feet has such advantages, you know, because you can get into the paint, you make that jump stop. And Jimmy is so strong, he gets to the spot, and then he's an incredible pump faker, as you said, so he gets people off their feet. But if they read it well and they don't leave their feet, he finds the open shooter because he's penetrated and he's got the ball in the paint and the defense has to collapse. So he's an incredible player. It's fun to watch him because it doesn't jump off the page, his talent, you know, like it does with Kevin Durant or LeBron. But he's equally as efficient as those guys because of his wisdom and his strength and his fundamental base and just his amazing feel for the game. So he's been awesome for us.
He's always stable. Like, he's never, because of his jump stop and his strength, he has that ability to stop and then make a decision. He doesn't have to, like, oh shit, I got to get rid of the ball because I'm going to travel. If I don't, I mean, it's fun to watch him play. I mean, look, Buddy Hield hit some huge shots for you last night. I mean, he was fantastic, I thought. I mean, that's just Buddy, right? I mean, Buddy's going to show up, sometimes going to shoot it well, sometimes maybe not as well. But when he's open, I mean, that's what he's out there for, correct?
Yeah, and I was thrilled to see it because he did not have a great preseason, although I was never worried about his shooting. I mean, shooters generally take a little bit of time to get going in camp because your legs aren't underneath you. And biggest thing with Buddy, and I've told him this a lot, is just he's got to take care of the ball, you know. And in that first half, we had all those turnovers that were keeping us from really, you know, opening up a lead. But Buddy's role coming off the bench is, you know, if he's open, let it fly. And he's a better defender than people give him credit for. But he's a great guy to have on the team because he just brings an incredible joy and laughter to the locker room every day. Loves to play, never misses a game, healthy every game, every night he's there for us. So what a great addition he was last year.
Yeah, I forgot to are you going to be good this time? Okay, we're trying to do an interview here. Don't turn the mic off, okay? Good Lord. Something you mentioned that the last turnover was when you ran the shot clock out at the end of the game. And I immediately thought when that happened, I go, freaking Steve is like getting soft in his old age. That used to be when you first took over, you guys shot every single time because you're like, I'm not turning the ball over. Why should we turn the ball over? We're gonna get a shot up. Did the players finally just kind of, I mean, wear you down and like you're just at this point you're like, it's not a battle I really need to fight?
That's mainly it. I don't need to fight that battle, but it still annoys me. For a while, I was like on a one-man crusade to change. Why does anybody get mad if there's a shot clock differential? You're down or up, you know.
Yeah.
Why do players get mad? Why is that insulting? The game is telling you to shoot. Why should anybody take a turnover? I think my favorite one ever was about probably 4 or 5 years ago. And
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, Jimmer Fredette was on a 10-day with the Knicks, and they're playing Portland at the Garden. And he races down. He just gets in the game for the last couple of minutes, so he wants to get a shot up. They're down 20, not up 20, Tom.
Down 20.
Down 20.
Yeah.
And he races down the floor with 30 seconds left in the game, 6-second shot clock differential. And he launches a three. And Myers Leonard, pushes him, and looks at him like, "What are you doing?" And I'm watching. I'm like, well, he's shooting because they're down 20 and there's still time left in the game. And why are you offended? Why, why are you offended? It drives me crazy, but you're right. I'm not fighting that battle anymore.
You're not fighting. They wore you down. You're just like, nah, okay, whatever.
Maybe I'm with you though. Maybe I should go opposite and now get mad at other people when they do it. Really feed into.
Yeah. I like that. I like that'd be counterculture right there. That'd be against the grain. It's funny because I don't know why I wouldn't get mad just as long as you're not coming down dunking 5 seconds into the shot clock and you're already up 20, or you're doing what Jordan Bell did in Dallas a couple of years ago. Throwing lobs and spiking the ball, and you guys are killing him. I was like, it's probably not great. That's probably not great form.
Yeah, he came down. He one man fast break. He put it off the board and dunked it. Rick Carlisle wouldn't even look at me after the game. I was like trying to apologize, and he just stormed past me and went to the locker room. I think I texted him an apology. The best
Did
part
you?
But the best part of that story, Tom, is I went into the locker room afterwards and I go, all right, I want to poll you guys. Like, anybody who thinks that was disrespectful, raise your hand. David West and Sean Livingston, old pros, they raised their hand. They're like, you can't do that, man. You can't embarrass people. Draymond raises his hand and he's like, fuck that. You do that if you want to. You got to make your place in this league. You do whatever you want, JB. And I just sat there. I'm like, hey, this is not up to me at this point. But
it's all changed. What's acceptable now has completely changed. Like a bat flipping, with some of the bat flipping in baseball were taking place 20 years ago, dudes would be getting ear-holed right and left. I mean, they would be getting destroyed, but it's different than what it used to be. I wanted to ask you, well, let me continue on with the game. Well, let me ask you this before I get to the game, because I want to ask you about some of the new rule changes. But Tim Roy told me this when we were doing the first preseason game about the it doesn't count as a shot attempt on buzzer beaters if it's outside of 35 feet, and there's like one other contingency. And I'm like, what are we doing here? We gotta tell these guys it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna hurt your percentage. Like, I want to know the one player that lost millions of dollars because they took too many buzzer beaters that killed their 3-point shooting percentage. It doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. It's like, I mean, are we that soft that we need to say, look, it's not going to count, so go ahead and shoot it? I mean, come on.
The answer is yes. We are that soft.
We are that soft.
That's why I love Steph so much, is that he has never shied. In fact, he loves those shots. And I will admit, as a player, there were times in my career, I'm a 3-point shooter, and near the top of the lead or in the lead at the in the end, near the end of the season. I'm like, I didn't quite get that one off. I mean, I'll admit it. I did it, and I now I look at it, I'm ashamed of. I see Steph, I'm like, what? That's how you gotta handle it. But I think what the league is doing is they just want those half-court buzzer beaters because the fans love those shots. And if the rule is going to encourage guys to let it fly, then I'm all for it, because a few of those at the end of games is good for the game.
Why doesn't Adam Silver just give him $50,000 for every make then?
Money.
If you make it, we'll give you $50K. Somebody else that I want to talk about last night was Kuminga. And look, I've told people this before. I'm not going to make my show, or when you come on, a referendum on Jonathan Kuminga every single night. It's just not going to happen. It's 82 games. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to overreact to one game, good or bad. But the one thing that jumped out to me last night wasn't the 3-point shooting. That's going to come and go, whatever. It was the rebounds.
Yeah.
It was the assists. It was the ball got out of his hands quick. It was he reacted to things quicker than he has in the past. If he reacted a half second slower, to that offensive rebound he got that led to the step 3 that put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that offensive rebound. And, last year he would have reacted a half second slower. It just seemed like everything was moving for him a little bit quicker. And for one night, again, I'm not going to speak to what's going to happen in the future. For one night, like I looked at it and go, that's the vision of him helping this team win.
Yeah, totally agree. That's the guy we need. The good thing is it wasn't just one game. He's been playing like this throughout camp. He's passing the ball better than he ever has. And the rebounding, he had 6 in 17 minutes in Portland. Didn't play in the second half because of the ejection. And then 9 last night. And so if he's rebounding and he's, getting us extra possessions, sprinting the floor, getting easy baskets, then that's the complement we need, next to Steph, next to Jimmy. And so he's really playing well. I think he's matured quite a bit. We've had a really good camp in terms of his embracing of the team and vice versa. Our vets have done an incredible job, Jimmy and Steph, just really encouraging him to stay with it. And, I do think someday we'll look back on this and we'll go, you know what, maybe it made sense that it took 4 years for a guy who from the Congo picked up basketball late, and the extent of his real preparation for the NBA was 8 games in the G League bubble, playing for the G League Ignite in Orlando. Maybe that wasn't enough to be prepared to join a championship team. And maybe these 4 years that we've just seen have been his education that every player needs. You and I got it in college from Wilson. I mean, it's like the game just isn't going to automatically click for someone without much experience. And so I'm really hoping that this continues because he can be a huge help.
How do you plan on mixing and matching the lineup as you go forward in terms of not playing minutes with Steph, Horford, Draymond, Jimmy, the older guys? What kind of puzzle are you looking at there?
It's a great question. I love our roster. I think we're really, really deep. I think, we didn't even have Moses and DeAnthony Melton last night. We're going to, have Seth Curry at some point. It's when you look at it, it's like we've got a lot of options. The tricky part is just the combinations. And, last night we started JK, Draymond, Jimmy. Not ideal in 2025 to put a front line like that together. It's not ideal to have Draymond play center against all the behemoths, for the next 82 games. So we are going to have to mix and match. I think some of that will be taken care of by rest, by injuries. Guys are going to miss games. Al's not going to play any back-to-backs this year. But we're going to have to figure out the right combinations in order to make it all work. And the players are going to have to sacrifice because we got a lot of mouths to feed.
Al Horford just seems like he was a plug and play, like he was made to play in a read and react system.
Totally. Yeah. Perfect for our team. We've always wanted a space 5 who could protect the rim and rebound. And that's Al. He could play next to Draymond. He can play instead of Draymond. He can play with anybody really on our roster. So huge addition. The big thing with Al at 39 years old is we just have to try to limit his minutes and manage him over the course of the year. So if he's only playing 20 minutes a night, which is kind of the target, maybe a little bit more, it's hard to start him. And I really would like to have one of Al or Draymond on the court at all times, just for the defense and the rim protection. So we got a lot to sort through, but these are good problems to have because they're all good players.
No doubt about it. All right, the other rule change, the high five, where you follow through and hit the hand. I was okay with that as is because I think after you release the ball, if you hit the hand, that to me is not a foul. The problem is the player started smacking the hand and really swiping at the hand.
Yeah.
And you're kind of asking the officials to use their judgment, which I'm not a fan of at all.
Right.
Like to make it as clear cut for the officials as possible. How do you feel about that? Because I'm kind of ambivalent. I get where they're coming from because guys were starting to hit the hand too hard, take shots at guys. But I also feel like if I'm just challenging a shot and I just happen to tick your hand after you release the ball, it's not affecting the shot at all. How do you see it?
Well, I think what you just described at the end there is exactly where we came down with the rule. The coaches were all adamant. It was all 30 coaches were adamant that it had gotten totally out of hand. And the problem was not hitting the guy's hand after he followed through. The problem was guys were hitting hands before the follow through. It was literally like a five. And so you couldn't actually follow through on your shot, which totally affects the shot. And it's one thing if the shot is blocked first. If the guy hits ball first, then all bets are off, right?
Yeah.
But what was happening the last few years is guys were not getting the ball, but then the shooter wasn't able to follow through, affecting the shot. And then, as you said, the players took advantage of the rule. Guys like Dylan Brooks and Draymond were just like hitting the shooters forearm as hard as they could after the release. Somebody was going to get hurt. So I think the league did a great job with this, actually. Really taking their time over the summer to examine it. And they, like I said, they came to exactly your conclusion. Like if there's minimal contact after the follow through, it's not going to be foul. But if it's on the follow through, or if somebody winds up and clubs somebody, that's going to be a foul.
That to me is the key. If I go to challenge your shot like this and my momentum takes me into your hand, but my hand's still like this, that's not a foul. But as soon as I do this, and then start coming like a volleyball spike, that should be a foul. That obviously should be a foul. And look, the officials will get all those right, and no coaches will be upset with the officials at all on any of those calls.
I agree.
I'm sure.
Yep.
All right, I got to ask you one last question. Tony Vitello, the former head coach of the University of Tennessee Volunteers, is now the new manager. I should say manager, not coach. Manager of the San Francisco Giants. I'm not going to ask you about him per se, but what advice would you give a guy moving from a league, let's say college basketball, college football, college baseball, to the big leagues? What's the toughest thing you think for those guys? Because we've seen it in football, we've seen it in basketball. I'm kind of excited to see how it works in baseball. What do you think the biggest key is for those managers being able to go from like college kids to grown men?
Well, first of all, I can't believe they hired somebody who had never coached at this level before. I mean, who would do that? Like,
wait, what?
Oh, no, oh, wait, never mind.
But you had played, and you'd been a GM. Like, I don't think he'd ever been around this league, which makes it more interesting. But still, I think what you say stands. Like, if you've never coached or been an assistant coach, I'm just wondering, what do you have to do to get everybody? Because ultimately, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, I tend to think most managers / coaches in baseball or basketball and football know their stuff. Like, they can draw up plays, they can do stuff. It's all about bringing everyone together and getting everyone to see a collective vision and making everybody feel like they're important to the journey and they're important to the team success, and kind of fostering that as you go. Like, to me, that's more important than like, here, give me a grease board, let me draw you up a play. So I'm wondering, in that light, what do you think the biggest key is for somebody that's never even been around the league?
Right. Well, I don't know Tony. I look forward to meeting him, and I've read a couple stories in the last 2 days about what a brilliant job he did at Tennessee. I trust that Buster did his homework. Buster's brilliant himself, and I just think the biggest thing for any new coach is coming in with the right approach. In my case, that approach was giving respect to Mark Jackson, my predecessor, and the organization for putting together like a really good roster and team, and letting everybody know that, hey, we're building on what you guys already have here. I think the worst The worst thing you can do is come in and like, I'm changing the culture. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It's my way. I think you have to respect what's there already. He's replacing Bob Brenly, who's been a brilliant manager. He's been in baseball forever. Everybody respects him. You come in and you honor the Giants' history. You honor Boach. You come in, and I think anybody in Tony's position who's been hired, I would be shocked if he didn't, approach it that way, because there has to be a humility coming into the job and a genuine respect for the people who were before you, because it's a hard job. No matter how you slice it, it's a really hard job, and everybody's going to do it their own way. But you want to respect the history before you even get started, and that's just your conversations with the players right away. That has to be covered.
Did you come in? I don't know if this is true or not. When you met with the team for the first time, did you wear all your rings and just kind of put your fingers up like this?
I did. I was like this, and in my other hand, I was doing the upside down smoke. I had a cigarette going. Just went. See these rings, fellas. Actually, I think at that time I had a hole in my throat because I'd been smoking.
Let me show you these rings, fellas. Look at it.
Oh God,
that's so bad.
Oh, God, that's terrible. Are we gonna get in trouble for that? I hope so.
Well, not you, but me.
You will,
maybe, but I don't. But I don't think so. No, I'll just. I don't know. Who cares? Who gives a shit? All right, Dodgers in. I'm not going to ask you who, but Dodgers in how many?
6.
Okay. Ohtani, greatest postseason performance of all time, or greatest NLCS performance of all time? Let's say greatest non-World Series performance of all time.
I mean, there's nothing to compare it to, right? Because nobody has ever done, both jobs. I guess Babe Ruth way back.
Not at the same time, though, really.
Yeah, not at the same time. Not in the same game. I read that Rick Wise once threw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was regular season.
That's regular season.
That's impressive, though.
Yeah. I think the greatest World Series performance I ever watched was Reggie Jackson.
Reggie.
3 homers against the Dodgers, and I think it was 77. And I was a, 12-year-old.
You probably cried, didn't you?
I cried. 12-year-old Dodger fan Steve was devastated, but I got to give Reggie his props. That was pretty special.
Okay, I don't know if you probably. I was going to ask you if you cursed when you were 12. Of course you did. Did you curse or throw anything at the TV when Reggie moved his ass into the way of the throw from second base and the ball went careening into right field?
Tom, you have no idea. I remember this. I was in my bedroom by myself watching the game and was crying and screaming at the TV, screaming at the umpire. And I was reminded of that play the other night when the guy on Seattle, I think it was Naylor,
jumped up
and turned. The ball hit him in the head.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought of was Bill Russell throwing to, trying to double up Reggie Jackson. And I remember right away thinking, why did he throw it so low? Like, if you throw it at your head, like there's no way somebody's going to get their head in the way. But anyway, that
I was mad. I was mad too. I was
were you a Dodger fan at that point?
I was a Dodger fan until probably about 80. And then once everybody left, I was like, and it was easier to get to Angel games. And I was an Angel fan by then anyway.
Well, you lived relatively close to Angel Stadium, right?
Yeah, we used to go to a lot more Angel games than Dodger games. So we go down there. And so I like the Angels, 80 Angels and all that. But yeah, I mean, look, even though I don't root for the Dodgers anymore at all, there's one team I will never root for, and that's the Yankees. So last year I wanted to see the Dodgers win because it's anybody but the Yankees. So I was so mad. I was like, how could you not see him stick his ass out? How is that possible? You're standing. I don't know if it was Richie Garcia that was, I don't know, I forget who it was, But I'm like, he stuck his ass out. He moved it. He moved it into the ball. How did you? And I'm sure Lasorda was saying that along with a bunch of F-bombs, but that to me was one of the biggest mysteries, like how they couldn't see that and how they did not call that. And that was an important point of the game, too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. 12-year-old bawling Stevie was well aware of what a crucial part of the game that was. Tommy Lasorda running out. Oh man, that was a tough one.
Those are good times. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. I always appreciate it. It's always fun talking to you, and I will probably see you tomorrow night as you guys take on the Creamy Nougats, and I'll talk to you on the show in a couple weeks.
Sounds good. All right, Tommy.
Thanks, Stevie.
See ya.
I appreciate it. All right, that's the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Douglas Kerr. Yeah, I was mad too. I just couldn't believe that they could not see Reggie Jackson stick his ass out. It just, what are we doing? Like, seriously. I've never seen a guy jump and turn, though, and Naylor got dinged in the back of the head. That's gutsy. That's like, whatever. Now that's taking one for the team. That is absolutely taking one for the team when Josh Naylor ran to second base, tried to break up double play. He jumps in the air and turns and then just took one off the back of the helmet. They called him out. He can't do that. Like, you can get hit. You can't jump. Like, try and get hit. But yeah, the Reggie Jackson one was just, that was disappointing. I remember being highly agitated by that. So, yeah, I mean, Tony Vitelli, I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it. I mean, like, I don't follow college baseball, like, at all. So I know Tennessee, and I know Tennessee has been really good. So it can't be that hard. Vitello. So that it'll come to me. I said Tom earlier today. At least I got the Tony part right this time. I mean, I got to give the guy. I shouldn't be getting the guy's name right. He won a national championship, for God's sakes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, why would you leave Tennessee? Why would you leave that job right now that you've built into a power, playing in the SEC at Tennessee? You probably get the NIL. I mean, they got to fund a lot of programs down there now. They got to fund. It's not just football. They got to do men's basketball. They got to do women's basketball and baseball. But the salary's probably really nice down there. He's got it going, like the machine's working. Why would you leave and come to the Bay? Why would you leave and come to California? I mean, you don't know the players. You don't know the league. I mean, he knows the league in terms of like some of the players, but not as well as he's going to by the start of the season. He doesn't have time. He was managing his team. So taxes, I think the taxes are a little higher than Tennessee. I'm gonna have to look on, make sure I fact check that. But here's what I think some people miss. I think these guys that are that driven want to find out if what they do works at the highest level. Can I win at the highest level? So it's not about the lifestyle. It's not about, hey, I got my program rolling. I can stay here another 10 years. And this is going to be, chill's not the right word. Easy's not the right word. But again, it's like a machine, right? The viscosity is good. It's all nice and oiled, and it's just running. The machine's running. It's not running as smoothly here as it is at UT. So why would you do it? Again, I think these guys are driven. I think they want to see if what I do, what I bring to the table can work at the highest level. I also think there's a draw to an organization like the San Francisco Giants. I mean, this isn't really? Can I finish my show? We're talking Giants, but you want to talk Giants baseball? You like the Giants? You like the Giants? You do like the Giants. Okay, she likes the Giants. Okay, she's got her headphones on. What the heck's going on? Oh, you got Kai too? Well, you might as well bring him over and let him join the show. Everybody can join the show. Good Lord, Camila, your pants. Okay, let me finish what I'm doing. You're gonna make me. I'm getting old now. Okay, I can't like keep my. What's up, buddy? You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. Say what's up.
You wave, I wave.
You gonna wave?
I wave.
Okay. Hey, buddy. God dang, you're heavy. You are a lump. There you go. You got the grandkids today. But I think there is that desire. Like if you're as good as these guys are, and you've succeeded at the level they've succeeded at, and the SEC is big time, and Tennessee is a big time program. Some of these guys just have the desire to find out, can I do it with the big boys? Can I do it Major League Baseball? And again, I was talking about the Giants. Who are the big programs? Who are the teams that you look at and go, man, I would love to manage that team? Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox, Angels, Cubs. I mean, who else is there? Because if the Giants aren't in that group, they're right below that group. Like, to me, Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, Red Sox. I don't even know if I put Mets in there. I probably wouldn't put Mets. I'd probably put Giants ahead of the Mets. Cardinals. I mean, Cardinals is definitely one. You got a chance to manage one of those teams? And I'm sure, like, if I were him, make sure you get a contract that gives you enough time while you're here that's like what Kyle Shanahan got and John Lynch got. They got a 6-year deal. They coached in the league, but they had never been the head coach, or John never been a coach or a GM or anything. But they got 6 years to kind of remake the team and do what they needed to do and not feel the pressure that you have to win right away. Now, this team, the Giants team, isn't that far off. They got to get the bullpen fixed. Everybody thought the bullpen was good. Bullpen's not good. It's got to get better next year. And again, cherish the core four. It doesn't work out that well that often. Eldridge, if he can be a guy, like I like Schmidt at second. I like him there. Adames and Chapman, you're set over there. They are what they are. If you want to bitch about them and say I'd like him to strike out too much. You don't need that. They are what they are. Okay. They're probably going to have an OPS 770 to 830, right in there somewhere. Hit some home runs, strike out a bunch, but they're good in the clubhouse, and that's a good deal. Ramos, he's in there. He'll be your left fielder. I like him to get a little bit better, but whatever. I mean, not anybody. You have a bunch of not perfect players out there. Jung-Hoo Lee in center field. I'm not sure who's going to play right next year. If Bailey can hit like he did the last half of the year last year, okay. But it can't be 197. It just can't. I don't care how good you are behind the plate. That's just not baseball. This isn't 1978, okay? Where your shortstop and your catcher can bat 194, and you're like, hey, we're good. We're good. Just play defense. We're good. Now, everyone's got to hit a little bit. And then, surprisingly, the pitching. I mean, the pitching, it's got to be an upgrade. Talked to Dwayne Kuiper today. He said they need 2 pitchers. And I agree with that. Unless Wisenhunt can be one of those guys, unless Birdsong can be one of those guys, if Roop can be one of those guys. And again, I liked Roop. But you look at the numbers, they're okay. They're like, nah, how sustainable was that? Not sure. Like, to me, the ERA was better than what the numbers told you. Is Verlander going to come back? Don't even know that. I mean, you got a top 2 that's really good. Webb and Ray. Got to have help. You can't expect them every single time to win. They're going to lose some games. They're going to have some bad games. So, but I don't think they're that far off. So it's not like Vitello is going to have a 3-year runway. Like, they're expecting this thing, like, It's on the runway and it's getting ready to take off and it's going to start heading up. Is it? Don't know. That's the expectations. Oh yeah, and how could I forget Devers? You get your bat, you get your middle of the order bat that they haven't had in quite some time. So it has the makings of a team that should be able to compete. It should. Will it? I don't know. What's the secret sauce? Not sure. That's what he's going to have to find out. That's what he's going to have to find out. But I don't think he is going to come in and you're going to see dramatically different numbers from guys. Like, they are what they are. They may change a little bit. He may have some strategical tweaks. I don't know. Do they steal more? Not sure. It's not like, hey, I'm here, Devers, steal. I mean, guys are kind of who they are. What's his philosophy, though? Will everybody buy in to the philosophy? Kipe said it today, and I totally agree. He's got to reach the veteran guys. Like, why should I trust you? Why should I believe you? And I think if you're genuine, you care about the players, you show them that you're going to work as hard, if not harder than them, to give them the best chance to succeed. I think ultimately that's the ticket. Because I have no questions about his acumen as a baseball manager. People say, well, it's a different game, pro, college to pro. Of course it is. But you're telling me a guy that won the championship at Tennessee, been in the postseason, I want to say 4 straight years, or 3 out of the last 4, something like that. And the program wasn't great a number of years ago. That guy's not smart? Of course he's smart. And dummies don't do that. So let's just assume that he's a smart guy and he knows what he's doing. So he'll figure it out. And you have so many coaches nowadays. It's so many coaches. So it's not just the manager or the head coach by themselves doing all this. Like, Steve Kerr has a huge support staff. They got a bunch of dudes that help him out. You get your defensive guy, your offensive guy, your player development guys, your behind the bench guys that are looking at challenges, but everyone's doing something. The old days when I played are gone, where it was Nelly, St. Jean, Nelly Jr., and Mike Schuler. Done. 4 guys on the bench, and Tom Abdenauer sitting over there doing all the training activities and making sure our flights were on time for the next day. I don't know how Tommy did all that, but that was it. It was like bootstrapping. It was 4 dudes. Okay, we're good. That's not the way it is anymore. These guys have more than enough help. So Tony Vitello is going to have the help he needs. What I would suggest is hire guys that have a bunch of experience, at least 2 of those guys, preferably that have been managers before, that get it, that understand it, that understand the pressures of being a manager, that know what you're going through. I think that's useful because after wins, after losses, through tough times, dealing with press conferences, having to deal with tough questions, you want a guy that's had to deal with that before. You want a guy that understands what you're going through. I don't want a bunch of dudes from Driveline that have no idea what I'm going through. Now, I'm not saying I don't want those guys on the staff. I do. I absolutely want those guys on the staff. I want the analytics guys on the staff. I want to try to take advantage of every little thing I can take advantage of. But I also want the experience. I also want the human factor that goes with managing. Because there's a lot of times these guys go through a lot of crap. And they feel like they're alone sometimes. Like, I lost the game. I did this. I could have won the game. I should have done this. I get it. And you need someone there to say, look, I know what you're going through. I've been there. I did this. Just blah, 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 blah. So I'm rooting for him. I think anything that's new is kind of fun. And this is kind of fun. Right? This happens in college basketball. Happens in college football. Where a football coach will go from college to the NFL. Maybe most famously Jimmy Johnson. They go from college to the NBA. I'm trying to think who's the best college coach that's coached in the NBA. Like a legitimate college coach. Larry Brown? Maybe? Larry Brown at UCLA? Is he maybe the best college coach to go from college to the NBA? I don't know. I'm not going to spend the whole show thinking about it, but it sounds pretty good to me. It sounds like it works. And I'm like talking a legitimate head coach, like a guy that coached college basketball for a number of years. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're in the NBA and you do well. And maybe there's somebody that's better than Jimmy Johnson. If there is, he's not coming to mind, and I don't think there is. I mean, Jimmy Johnson killed it at college, or killed it in college, and then killed it with the Cowboys. But this, never seen this before. The new trend in baseball is to hire players that Brad Stevens, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like Brad Stevens, but he's not Larry Brown. Larry Brown's better. I don't know if he's better than Brad Stevens, but he has a championship. Brad Stevens doesn't. Brad Stevens has a championship as an executive, but not as a head coach. So, yeah, I don't know, but we haven't seen this before. Again, let me get back to what they are doing is hiring former players that maybe don't have any managing experience. Maybe we're in the minor leagues coaching a little bit. Bring them up to be the managers. Don't get to pay them that much, and then just hand them their marching orders. Like, here's how we're going to run the show. Here's how we're going to set the lineup. Here's how I want the bullpen used. Here's what we do here. Here's how we do this. I don't think this isn't going to be that guy. You're talking about a guy that's used to running the whole show. Like, the whole program was under his umbrella. That is not a guy you bring in and say, okay, here's what we want you to do. Here's how we'd like you to set the lineup. Here's how we'd like you to use the bullpen. Billy Donovan's a good one. Not Larry Brown, but a good one. No doubt. And had great success in college. Rick Pitino didn't have any success in the NBA, but college. But again, Vitello's the guy that's run his own show. So usually in college, they're a little more forward thinking when it comes to analytics. Now, I don't know about Tennessee. I don't know how big they were in analytics, how much of a driving factor analytics was. I assume at this point, everyone's into analytics at some level. It's just some teams are very secretive. You ask about their analytics, they're like, I really want to talk about it. Because there's some things that every team has, but other things teams weight differently than their competition. They don't want them to know about that. So I'm sure teams would love to see what Oklahoma City's analytics is up to. Get dudes that can play defense, that are really long, that are interchangeable. I didn't even get to that game last night. Oklahoma City plus 15 in turnovers last night. I think they forced 27 turnovers, committed 12. That's their secret sauce. Anyway, let me circle back to baseball. Let me circle back to Vitello. But I don't know. I mean, we always say we want something different. This is something different. And if you're a Giants fan, I think this is pretty cool. It could absolutely implode. There's a chance of that. We don't have any track record of this. It's like going to the racing track and trying to bet a maiden claimer. And you look at the form, you're like, bro, I got nothing. All I got is workouts. Am I going to bet this? Yes, I'm going to bet it. I'm at the track. I'm betting every race. You think I'm going to pass on a race when I'm at the track? Please. It's not going to happen. So we don't know. We don't know how other coaches have done. So we'll get a chance to see that next year, but I think it should be pretty cool. As far as the World Series goes, KD almost did have a Chris Webber moment. I was going to ask Steve this, because I've heard, if you saw the game last night, really, really fun game, the Oklahoma City Houston game, where OKC wins by a point in double OT. But Reed Shepard, I don't know how that's going to work out. But so KD called the timeout, but it was a quick one. It was like, hey, and he but either they didn't see it or they didn't recognize it. I think officials cannot recognize a timeout if you don't have a timeout. Like, they don't have to call it. I'm not saying I'm down with that if that were the case. But as an umpire, you don't have to recognize timeout either. You can ask for a timeout and then go, no, bite me. get your ass in box and let's go. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he tried. It's like, Şengün was great. Somebody today compared Şengün to like Jokic. I'm like, bro, he's not a poor man's Jokic. He's a broke man's Jokic. There is no comparison between Joker and Şengün. And I like Şengün. But please, the gap on that is as wide as the Atlantic. Maybe not Pacific, maybe Pacific. But there's like no comparison there. But Houston is long. You can see where they're going to miss a point guard. But my God, when they play that zone, Jabari Smith Jr., Amen Thompson, KD, Steven Adams, and Şengün, they eat up the whole damn court. It's a massive lineup. I think they averaged like 6'10", 6'9", 6'10". It was incredible. But they didn't have, they're not going to have Van Vliet all year. They didn't have Dorian Finney-Smith. So I don't really look at teams until about the first month before I kind of look at them and go, okay, this is what this team is. This is who I think they are this year. But we know who OKC is. And they didn't even have Jalen Williams last night. But they're just, they're the best team in the NBA. If they're motivated and focused, they're going to stand a real good chance to win again. I won't say they will win again. I think Cleveland's going to be really good too. Yo, Opie, I don't know, man. In the second half last night, I'd have rather had Şengün with that ball than KD. Şengün was killing it last night. Like, he was inside, he was outside, he was bringing the ball. Like, he was doing everything they needed him to do. And look, KD, my daughter asked me last night, what kind of team does KD fit into? I go, KD fits into every team. KD is going to be good with every team. It doesn't mean it doesn't take you a little bit to kind of find the sweet spot of every team. And he struggled a little bit in the second half last night, no doubt about it. But look, that's how great that dude is. Every shot he takes, you're like, oh, he's going to make it. Oh, he's going to make it. Oh, he's going to make it. No, he can't make everything, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Will the Rockets be fine? I don't know. I'm missing all the talk on Reed Shepherd. Analytically, he was good defensively coming out of Kentucky. Don't see it. So, yeah. I'm not as worried about him on offense. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Dorian Finney-Smith can play some point guard, but he's not really a point guard. You don't want KD running the offense. You want him catching the ball. You don't want him initiating the offense. Şengün can do it, but he's also a guy you want with the ball in scoring position. So, I don't know. That may be a trade deadline deal where they look for a veteran point guard to get. But that was a huge loss when they lost Van Vliet. And again, I won't get into OKC because they're really good. They're really talented. They're really deep. They really get after you on defense. They're really long. I don't know how many games last year I saw. The team they played outshot them. The team they played outshot them on threes. The team they played outshot them at the free throw line. But the Thunder had 10 to 15 more field goal attempts because they just keep turning everybody over. That's who they are. So, again, they're going to be really, 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 really good. I hate to say it. I got the Dodgers in the World Series. I'll be pulling for the Blue Jays big time. I hope Vlad just continues to rake. Like, Vlad is incredible, and I hope Springer continues to rake. I don't know, Gosman's their guy. Trey Savage is, pitched really well. I don't know what they got in the 3-hole. Bassett looked good for an inning. I don't know if he was hurt or not. Maybe Bassett was hurt, but they certainly could use him. Use some innings out of him. But damn, I don't know how you compete against a team that puts the pressure on you offensively that the Dodgers do. And they haven't even been great offensively. Hell, Ohtani won the NLCS because he had one great game. He had one historic game, and he got the NLCS MVP. What does that mean? It means nobody really did a whole heck of a lot on the offense. Snell was fantastic. Glasnow was fantastic. Yamamoto was maybe, if not fantastic, he was really damn good. I don't know how you compete against that. I don't know how you compete against Snell, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Ohtani. Those are your four. Most teams this time of year are trying to find three, and then we'll figure the fourth out. These guys are like, it's embarrassing. We got four. We could go five if we had to. But we got four. We're good with four. So I would love the Blue Jays to beat them. I would love for them to beat them. I don't know. I hope they keep breaking. It'd be cool if they did. It'd be a fun story. See the Blue Jays beat the Dodgers. And let's be honest, at this point, anybody beating the Dodgers would be a fun story. I'm totally down for that. So let's go Blue Jays. I used to have a Blue Jays hat. I think it had a number 5 on it. George Taco Bell. So, yeah, I agree. The Dodgers are going to have to help the Blue Jays along. There's going to be some bad base running, maybe some bad fielding, maybe give the Blue Jays extra 90 feet occasionally. Get into that bullpen. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I ain't taking them. I'm not going to bet the Blue Jays. Hell no. But if I had to, I would, just because I'm not betting on the Dodgers. But yeah, I think you're right. I think if both teams play clean baseball, it's Dodgers in 5, maybe in 5. How many games they lost in the playoffs? 1. I think the Phillies beat them once, right? So that would put them at 9-1 in the playoffs. So there you go. Find a way to get to the bullpen. And that's a problem. The pitchers have been so good, they're going 7. So you only need 1 bridge inning, and then you get to Sasaki, who's, he showed a couple vulnerabilities here and there. But that's your guy that you paid hundreds of millions of dollars to be your 5th starter. That's how deep they are. They got a guy they paid tons of money to who wasn't great this year, but whatever. You can see the stuff, right? I mean, the fastball and the splits, like, good night. Yeah. Here we go again. Dodgers. God. Just not a fan. Better than the Yankees, but not a fan. All right, everybody, we'll be back, I think, tomorrow. I think Steve Young's going to join us tomorrow. Be like a banger of a 48-hour period. We had Kipe today, who's always incredible. I love Kipe. Love catching up with him. Steve Kerr, who is going to come on with us every couple weeks. Fun catching up with him. And then number 8, the Hall of Famer, said he'd come on with us. Look at that squirrel. I got all the animals out here. I had the bunny, got the kitties, always have Lou. Lou's always out here. And the squirrel decided to show him, say, what's up. So, yeah, it's been a good. And then Friday, Paulie Mack and Tony Ryan are going to come to the backyard. We'll talk a little Bay Area Sports Collective. Not really. I mean, we'll mention it. But we'll talk Giants. We'll talk new managers. We'll talk Warriors and all kinds of good Bay Area stuff. Texans hosting the Niners. And then Monday, they're going to do a show from Longboard Pizza on Monday night. And I'm going to go over there before my Warrior duties. So they'll come over here at noon in the backyard. We have our hands full. We got to have a 3-person setup. Never done that one before. That'll be interesting. I'm not even sure how they're going to do that. They'll figure it out. Max and Daniel will figure that one out. And so, but I hope you guys enjoyed the day. It's been a fun day. It really has. And we also want to thank Fieldwork, the official non-alcoholic beer of the San Jose Sharks. This most definitely is not non-alcoholic. This is a best and last, and this is my best and last Oktoberfest beer I have. So I might need to grab a few more of these, because once the Oktoberfest beers are gone, they're gone. You don't get them until next year. It's like the pumpkin spice lattes. Although they've kind of fucking extended that out, haven't they? They've played that up a little bit. Like it's pumpkin spice latte season. Yeah, for fucking 3 months. It used to be like 2 weeks, maybe 3. Now it's 3 months. They're like, yeah, let's go and run this thing through Thanksgiving. And while we're close enough, let's just run it into Christmas and we're good to go. So, but Oktoberfest beer, I think it maybe another week or 2, and that's it. It might even be done. So I got to make sure I get like another 6 or another 4-pack of these, because once they're gone, I get no more until next year. So anyway, what are you gonna do? Still loving the pumpkin. I'm gonna miss the pumpkin. Although we're gonna keep the pumpkin until Thanksgiving. That pumpkin's staying. I like that pumpkin. In fact, I might just keep it in like May. Just have it's always good to have a gourd on screen, is it not? Who has a gourd on their screen? I do. We do. I like gourds. So maybe we'll keep that there for a while, just for the hell of it. Because I like it. I like it. Oh yeah. 6-0 against the Dodgers this year. 6-0. I don't care about their pitching staff. I don't care about their hitting. I don't care. 6-0. Angels own the Dodgers. What does that mean? Nothing. I have so little to hold on to, okay? I really do. I have nothing keeping me going as an Angel fan. Like nothing. It's just sad. I just want to sit in the house and drink. Got nothing to look forward to either. Kurt Suzuki, I guess. I like catchers as managers, but it's all bad. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks again to Fieldwork. Love Fieldwork. I love Fieldwork. You should love Fieldwork. Stop on by. Pick up a 4-pack. Or if you're up and if you're down at the tank during a Sharks game and you want to have that so tasty IPA taste without the alcohol, get yourself a Headliner, because they are the official non-alcoholic beer of the San Jose Sharks. Until tomorrow, see ya.